Hey, I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and I wanted to talk about movies and TV shows. Not necessarily any particular kinds of movies and TV shows, but as I continue talking, I'm sure I might bring up some examples, maybe, or I have two in mind. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this in the first place is because I used to watch movies and TV shows a lot when I was younger. When I think of a lot of shows and a lot of movies, it definitely brings a lot of nostalgia for me. And I'm sure it does for like a lot of you too. So this isn't necessarily like special in terms of like me being a narcissist. But as I look back, then like I reflect on my life and how I've always had an unstable sense of self. I guess I wanted to focus on that in particular for this video. Whenever I would watch shows and movies when I was younger and I would really like a character, let's say, I would always put myself as them. Like, I would think to myself, oh, this person, this character is me, when in actuality, it never was me. They just had, let's say, perhaps like certain traits that I admired or would have wanted for myself because none of that was ever actually there for me at all. And when I think about it now, it's kind of I don't really know how to describe it, but I guess it's like I don't know, just okay. Like if you've seen Community, there's a scene where Abed says to Jeff, "I can tell life from TV, Jeff. TV makes sense. It has rules. It has structure." And that scene always stuck to me, and I guess I didn't necessarily know why at the time whenever like I would watch Community when I was like, let's say, like getting into it. I think Abed is a relatable character in general, at least on the basis that yeah, he's most likely an INTP and I'm an INTP as well. But anyway, yeah, I think I always enjoyed a world of like movies and TV shows because you know it's predictable. Exactly. It has that stability. It has that structure. Whereas dealing with people in real life is, excuse me, is a hell of a lot more complicated. You have to talk to them. You have to get to know them. And the struggles, let's say, as a narcissist and not really knowing who you are, you have to present this like made up version of yourself because nothing is actually there, and you have to maintain that with whoever it is that you're dealing with. And it's crazy because obviously maybe the person that I'm talking to does not necessarily feel like they're in a movie or does not necessarily feel like they're in a play. But I think every single time I deal with people, and like, here's what I've noticed, like the comfortability that I might get in watching a show or a movie that I understand and like really well is because it has that predictability. It has, scenes that I can already anticipate, dialogue that excuse me, that I can already anticipate. Except when you deal with a certain person, I don't know, you might say something that they don't like, you might hear something from them that you don't like, and it kind of just makes things like extremely complicated because I've always gone through my life talking to somebody hoping that at least more or less the script that I have in my head will be something that they replicate. Like, when you play a video game and you select the dialogue options, when you play certain games, you just hope that, okay, you select the ones that don't ruin your gameplay, quote unquote. Because if you're a narcissist like me, I would say like nothing actually feels real. You're kind of just performing. You're always this actor. So I guess just in relation to like movies and shows, it's kind of crazy because I keep like thinking about it and it's like, yeah, I am trying to like whenever I talk to people, whenever I'm trying to like maintain like relationships, quote unquote, like I'm trying to make it as easy and comfortable as it is when you find the comfort in watching a good show or a movie that you really enjoy and have seen maybe over like a million times, blah blah blah, you know. And I'll be honest, when I was growing up, I think the first thing that I desired to be was an actor. Yeah, for sure, was an actor. And It's crazy because in one of my favorite TV shows, in which I didn't necessarily pay as much attention to like I am now about it, there's a particular scene where Penny's talking to Leonard's mom, and Penny tells her that she's an actress, and Leonard's mom is kind of just like, why? And she's like, what do you mean, why? And Leonard's mom tells her that, like, well, there are studies that show that many who go into the performing arts struggle from an extreme locus of identity. And she's like, oh, I don't really know what that means. And then Leonard's mom was like, it means that you value yourself only as others value you, which is usually the cause of unmet childhood emotional needs. If you're watching this, you probably know that a lot of cluster B disorders come from a not so easy upbringing. So, yeah.